Chapter 3. Practice of Corporate Sustainability. Corporate Governance Toolkit by Volkswagen Sustainability Report. Copyright Jairam Raja. All rights reserved.
Corporate Governance Toolkit. Human mind is subject to pleasure and pain, expands when praised, contracts when criticized, admires itself, and is lost in the masquerade. So said Dr. Radhakrishnan, quoting from Chandogya Upanishad. Corporate governance is by far the most difficult portion of the corporate management operating system for an enterprise. Why? Let's find out. It's going to be very crucial in terms of Strategy Plan 2030, bringing CAGR to CDGR, CARR to CDRR, and most importantly, the main theme, measure cost consequence now. Measuring cost consequence is an important aspect of any organization. That is what we are here in this episode, Corporate Governance Toolkit, with a case study on Volkswagen. CRAME ratings. CRAME is an acronym for Corporate Governance, Risk Management, Earnings, Accounting Quality, and Management Quality. Corporate governance, we shall see where does it get its slot in the corporate management operating systems. Governance is a dynamic function. Corporate governance is the enablement of accomplishing an infinite succession of finite purposes by controlling each goal as you track a flight. Goal congruence. Goal congruence is possible when the theory of the business is known and understood throughout the organization. The current two-dimensional organization structure, a spreadsheet or cash flow organization structure, is impediment for practicing goal congruence. Goalposts for each column is different. Each column holds its fort and fight tooth and nail on variance analytics meetings. The theory of the business no longer works. Corporate governance. What is corporate governance? When goals are set and understood by one and all within a company, then corporate governance is at its best. Meaning, goal congruence is made possible. Goal posts are not different for different people, but same for everyone. By way of a case study, we shall see why the current malaise of so many large and successful organizations worldwide remain unchecked and uncontrolled. In October 2015, just after the Volkswagen diesel emission cheat software fiasco had broken out, I wrote 4 articles that attracted good response from my readers. One of them, and all the 4 I am mentioning here, one of them is, who failed Volkswagen? Is it corporate governance or management quality? Let's go and get it. FCPA Act. Lock-in was the first major financial scandal that rocked the corporate world in 1976, when then Secretary of State Henry Kissinger said, the implications for the stability of other countries could be extremely serious. Many in high places, Prime Minister Tanaka of Japan, Prince Bernhard of Belgium, Colombian and Italian top brows were some of the major beneficiaries. As on today, I continue to get from the FCPA blog an unending stream of news and commentary about white-collar crime, enforcement and compliance. Such acts like FCPA Act have not given the intended do-good for the society. Red Loft and File Code. In this context, after the Volkswagen fiasco, one has to look at when Hermes UAS, the stewardship division of Hermes Investment Management, calling for an overhaul of the management and corporate governance culture at Volkswagen. Joseph Murphy, I would like to quote, who observed in an OECD review of anti-bribery instruments that governance is not compliance and ethics, and disputes OECD's conclusion that large multinational companies generally have adequate internal compliance controls. He continues in the same breath, One need only to look at the record at Siemens, whose code of conduct was described as a read, locked and filed code, or the long, legalistic and ineffective code that existed at Enron, to see the great danger in such sweeping conclusions. Please take note of it with regard to the corporate governance. Diesel emission fiasco. Just like drug companies investing in R&D is a long drawn-out tug-of-war between product acceptance and product liability, a costly affair for automotive industry. Very difficult to switch gear once the throttle is accelerated. It is a constant struggle between corporate and pressure group to highlight the ill effect of chemicals such as carcinogen found in Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Companies go back to the lab and reformulate its sodas. As Harold James puts it, for every regulation, there is a proportionate proliferation of innovations to circumvent it. Volkswagen had resorted to was to circumvent the data emission test results with a cheating device software that turned off exhaust gas recirculation when regulators were not looking. Volkswagen Together Strategy 2025. Today's CEO is Herbert Diess, where in 2015-16 Matthias Müller was the chairman of the board of management of Volkswagen. He had announced the 5 key steps to realign the group. I'm culling the information from the article which I had written earlier. These 5 priorities. Herbert Diess new 2021 annual report does not, in my opinion, explain as good as what Matthias Müller intended to do. So this is important for our discussion on corporate governance. He was there till 2018. Volkswagen Together Strategy 2025, as enunciated by Matthias Müller, the 5 priorities that he said was: priority number 1, customer satisfaction; priority number 2, uncover the truth; priority number 3, change in organization structure; priority number 4, establishing corporate culture; priority number 5, strategy 2025. These 5 issue areas which I had brought it out, I shall analyze with CRIM technology and assess as to the corporate governance standards which CRIM technology brings in. Volkswagen, Toshiba and Industry Warden, a way to go. This article has added another number, Industry Warden, to the ever-growing list of companies in the onslaught on ethical responsibility. Amidst the addition of advancement in many a field, corporate has failed to contain its greed. Corporate tries to rule its conduct by means internal to itself, by technique, not self-control. Profits, not morality, dominate corporate objectives and power to operate them. Tarnished reputations stick with the companies like Volkswagen, Toshiba and Industry Warden, whereas Matthias Müller, now Herbert Diess, Masashi Murmok, Helena Schuholm are individuals entrusted with the task of sweeping away the corporate scandals. How would they succeed? The 3 CEOs have their jobs cut out, tossing between the speculators in the market, legislature, regulatory authorities, and at the same time trying to convince the consumers. Let us have a look at it. Volkswagen, Toshiba and Industry Warden, a way to go. The achievements have been par excellence, and companies like Volkswagen are a necessity in the global economic growth. Lack of corporate governance results in transgression of policies, whereas lack of a policy leads to a vacuum in management quality. In case of Volkswagen, it was the lack of a policy. A written policy would not have permitted for a cheat software ever to emerge. Whereas for Toshiba, it was transgression of policies that led to lack of corporate governance. That is the red loft and file code syndrome. Corporate governance as a nomenclature used liberally needs correction. But how? Internal technique is of the object, whereas self-control is of the subject. The advancement in technology is of the object. Begging for advancement in management is of the subject. Many a technique is available for sustainability of efficiency, but not for sustainability of value system. That's what we have to focus our attention on. Cream technology. IBCM functions on the following 5 principles. Principle number 1, what gets measured gets managed. Principle number 2, measure qualitative elements of management. Principle number 3, corporate atomic structure. Principle number 4, return on intangible. Principle number 5, emergent property phenomenon. We have got the 5 priorities, number 1 to number 5, that web page no longer exists. But what we are going to do is match this priority number 1 to number 5, which Matthias Müller had brought about, and connect with these IBCM 5 principles. Let's go. Volkswagen Sustainability Report by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 1, customer satisfaction. The annual report 2021 states an operating profit before special items to 20 billion euros. To the business that has seen enormous compensation paid out to the tune of $35 billion on account of defeat devices, the comeback of auto giant is indeed outstanding. Volkswagen Group has adopted the German Corporate Governance Code, the code, and states we discussed the code's guidance in detail and issued the annual declaration of conformity with the recommendations of the code. Cream Analytics, principle number 1, what gets measured gets managed. Governance is a dynamic function. Annual declaration of conformity is certainly too late. For Volkswagen should check how long it took to install the cheat software in 11 million vehicles before being got exposed. Cream recommends corporate governance report to be dynamic, on the go, and measured. Volkswagen Sustainability Reports by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 2, uncover the truth and learn from it. Special Diesel Engine Committee, Annual Report 2021, quotes, the tasks of the Special Diesel Engine Committee were essentially completed by the end of December 2021. The Supervisory Board has completed its investigations into the diesel issue as far as the civil liability of the members of the boards are concerned. In light of this situation, the Supervisory Board dissolved the Special Diesel Engine Committee with effect from the end of December 31, 2021. Cream Analytics. Principle number 2, measure qualitative elements of management. 1. Special Diesel Engine Committee is the process of uncovering the truth. And 2. A German Corporate Governance Code, the code, is a policy paper for ensuring good governance. 2. Volkswagen has listed in 2015 the most important international conventions that Volkswagen follows, nearly about 20. These are the rules adopted by Volkswagen as much as the code is adopted now. When Volkswagen justifies its conduct by these rules, then corporate governance is in place, lest it is left as a red loft and file code. Governance of the people, by the people, for the people. Corporate governance is not object oriented. The denominator is people. How Volkswagen justifies the people conduct is a very important aspect of corporate governance. Volkswagen Sustainability Reports by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 3, change in organization structure. Annual Report 2021 to quote, sustainable value enhancement. Our goal is to run our business responsibly along the entire value chain. Everyone should bet from this: our customers, our employees, the environment, and society. Even in our new group strategy, new auto mobility for generations to come, to make mobility sustainable for present and future generations. Clean analytics, Project Seed, social 9 SDGs, environmental 4 SDGs, economic development goals 4 with the following agenda: build world data architecture 944. 2. Combine GCHW parameters with 944. And 3. Prepare GNH GDP combo report from the foot soldiers level. Sustainable value enhancement of Volkswagen would take cognizance of 672,800 employees besides other stakeholders individually. Volkswagen Sustainability Report by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 3, change in organization structure. Cream Analytics, a spreadsheet organization structure, which we briefly discussed earlier. Here I would like to pinpoint there are 170 open-ended process blocks that Cream Technology deals with for an organization. 12 are quantitative that we show in P&L and balance sheet, and 158 qualitative. Illustratively, conflicts of interest Mr. Hans Dieter Porsche or Mr. Bernd Osterich had to deal with in Volkswagen. Conflicts of interest, conflict of personal interest, conflicts of conscience, code of conduct, NGC, code of business principles, or the code would all form part of the 158 plus qualitative elements of management. The 12 quantitative elements may remain just 12 despite tremendous changes in employment or increased sales, whereas 158 now will keep increasing. Volkswagen Sustainability Report by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 3, change in organization structure. Cream Analytics, corporate atomic structure. Corporate atomic structure fulfills what Immanuel Kant asked for: a science of metaphysics with a logical structure, like a well-established mathematical and natural sciences. An atomic structure is embedded into corporate policies, the board protons, people, the society neutrons, and practices, the CO team the electron. Just as the atomic structure, the board and the society form a nucleus. The CO team spins around the nucleus, just as the electron does in an atom. Electron spins around the nucleus at nearly 3/4 of the speed of light. The nucleus gives the stability. Same for the corporate nucleus, giving stability to the organization, that the CO team does not go astray. Volkswagen Sustainability Reports by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 3, change in organization structure. Cream Analytics, corporate atomic structure. Benchmarks and metrics follow their nature. The hydrogen converts portion of it to helium in a precise and stately manner. Same for the metrics in 6 stages of transformation, from nothing to a substance of quality, adding 1 by each of the 5 elements. 7 years since diesel emission imbroglio, Volkswagen is now in the cusp of IE 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution. One, advanced digital technology, and more importantly, two, societal changes. Let us examine the feasibility. Volkswagen Sustainability Reports by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 4, establishing corporate culture. In continuation of what Matthias Müller said, he noted that the pursuit of perfection, the employee's commitment and social responsibility in the Volkswagen Group must be retained. I agree with him. Cream Analytics return on intangible, the ROI. A culture is a function of true knowledge of awareness, an identity with ethical responsibility, that by which corporate infers and society teaches. Volkswagen's culture would henceforth align fiscal responsibility with ethical responsibility. Have a look at the project SEED framework, how it is in its entirety is like an atomic structure. What is good for a single person is good for the GDP, GNH as a whole. The return on intangible is an equation. Return on intangible or I is equal to action or inaction in the numerator and intangible in the denominator. Because intangible is common for everybody, from Potter to the nuclear scientists and all the 672,800 employees of Volkswagen. So it would turn out to a binary value of 1 or 0, the equation. Have a look. Volkswagen Sustainability Reports by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 5, Strategy 2025. Matthias Müller postponed the 2018 targets to 2025. A lot of things were subordinated to the desire to be faster, higher, and larger, especially return on sales, he made a mention. Currently, Annual Report 2021, the new auto strategy. The group management has decided to structure and regularly measure the strategic goals and milestones using the OKR, Objectives and Key Results method. This means that for each group initiative, achievable strategic objectives will be defined along with envisaged key results and their achievement discussed quarterly with the board of management. Cream Analytics looks at it, the new auto strategy, not on a quarterly basis but using ROI, return on intangible, track CAGR and CARR on the go by CDGR and CDRR. Volkswagen Sustainability Report by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 5, Strategy 2025. Cream Analytics Volkswagen Report 2021. The new auto strategy. Return on investment. The return on investment is mentioned 196 times. For a company that has gone through serious financial challenge, it is but natural to assure the society and the stakeholders that Volkswagen capex is well measured by return on investment calculation. However, for Volkswagen that has suffered heavy losses on account of a lack of value system, the priority, as Matthias Müller noted, that the pursuit of perfection, the employee's commitment and social responsibility in the Volkswagen Group must be retained. Volkswagen Sustainability Report by Cream Technology. Volkswagen priority number 5, Strategy 2025. In that process, I like to conclude Cream Analytics principle number 5, emergent property phenomena. The 3 principles of emergent property, according to Nobel laureate Murray Gell-Mann, are as follows. 1. Conformability of nature to herself. The corporate atomic structure, the first principle, conformability of nature to herself, is met. 2. Applicability of simplicity. It is ensured by limiting the entire management process to only 2, the creative process and the action process. The second principle of emergent property, the applicability of the criterion of simplicity, is met. And 3. Unreasonable effectiveness. A return on intangible covering the entire gamut of management with a single formula. The unreasonable effectiveness principle is met. Unreasonable effectiveness is the art of resolving a paradox with the least number of mathematical calculations. So, ROI is dead. Long live the ROI. Volkswagen Sustainability Report by Cream Technology. My recommendation to Volkswagen: 1. Build Volkswagen Data Architecture 944 by Project Seed. 2. Prepare Volkswagen Strategy Plan 2030. Transition to green economy, Scope 1, Scope 2 and Scope 3 parameters in place. 3. Bring CAGR and CARR to CDGR and CDRR. Daily monitoring of Volkswagen value system. 4. Cream ratings. There is no separate rating for a company. 0 to 5. 672,800 employees forming teams of 5, see Project Seed framework, are rated individually or yoked together but work independently. With only E in Cream being rated as of now, Volkswagen's rating should be from 2015 to 2020 rating of 0, 2021 rating of 1, 2022 is greater than 1, E stands at optimized level of 5. It depends on corporate governance by Project Seed, Cream rating of 170 open-ended process blocks. Target of Cream ratings of 4 for Volkswagen 2022.